Well, hello friends, Tony Blodgett here. Thought I would just get a quick message out to everybody with some of my thoughts on the real estate market. You know, as we started 2020, man, the real estate market was really heating up fast. And if you look at all the statistics that are coming out about home prices and the Case-Shiller home index and all of these reports that are coming out, some came out over the last month or two, some that are coming out now are really still based on, old data. And it just reconfirms how hot things were so early on in the year. I mean, typically we don't see things really start heating up until the quote unquote spring buying season. And we were seeing them really start ramping up early. And it just tells me that there's massive demand out there for people that want to buy homes. But then fast forward, here we are with the COVID-19 situation and just a lot of uncertainty and a lot of chaos and the market crashing. And then we hear about record numbers of unemployment and, all of these factors really start kind of messing with our head and making us wonder, well, is it really a good time to purchase a home? I see people that I know that are in the real estate industry that are very concerned about what's going to happen with real estate values. And just a lot of panic and fear out there. And, I have, every time I see a post like that on Facebook, I try to give my 2 cents on what I think is going to happen with the real estate market. Now, I will tell you, I am in a very different situation than I was in 2008 during the last housing crash. I was very bullish on real estate right up until it crashed. I was literally buying homes months before the crash. So, didn't see that one coming. I'm sure the signs were there. But you know what? I wasn't in the mindset to do that. And so now, admittedly, I have liquidated all my real estate. I'm kind of on the sidelines, if you will. I am a homeowner. I own my primary residence. I have a second home, and we do have one rental property right now. And I'm not looking to sell any of those properties. I'm very bullish on the real estate market. I'm going to tell you a few reasons why. I would say this though, if you are a real estate investor right now and you own a lot of real estate, the big challenge for you is not that house values are going to go down like what happened to me in 2008. The big challenge is most of those properties are probably rented by somebody. And collecting rent right now, whether it be commercial and or residential, is a huge challenge. And there's a lot of legislation, depending on where you live, maybe even more strict legislation on what you can even do with your land, if you're a landlord with your tenants. And so I think that's a messy situation, and that could, if people are unable to make their mortgage payments and they have a large portfolio of rental properties, that could start seeing a bit of inventory flood our market, but I just don't see it. So let's talk about why I'm so bearish on the real estate market. Bearish. I'm bullish. I'm very bullish on the real estate market. And let me explain to you why. So in the last crash, what happened is people didn't have any equity, myself included. Look, I had just purchased, a number of homes in a short period of time. And so I was putting as little down as possible and really trying to grow my real estate portfolio. Now, the only thing that saved me was that I had good renters. And so I had that coming in, and I made good money. And so through that whole time, because I was making good money, I was able to feed those homes, and I'm in the mortgage industry. And so I didn't feel like it was the right thing to do to let those homes go back. And so, for moral reasons, I was able to, luckily make enough money, and I chose to spend that on keeping those houses until the values came back. But a lot of people didn't do that, and I don't technically blame them. They had no equity. They were underwater, in some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so these strategic foreclosures became a very big thing, and a lot of people did them. And when one person back then decided to do it and they owned 6 houses, that's 6 houses hitting the market with just one person's decision. It's not like that today. People that own investment properties are in it for the long run. It's not the business that a speculator could even get into, because it required a lot of cash over the last decade to purchase investment properties for the most part. So I just don't see those same situations happening with everyone just bailing out. Not only that, if you lived in a home and you had a big mortgage payment, and then all of a sudden rents dropped, which they did, and you were able to go rent something for a lot cheaper than what you paid for your home in some cases, and you were upside down hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you had an interest-only loan and you couldn't refinance. I mean, there's all these things existed. None of those things exist today. So even if there are people that are losing their jobs, which there are, lots of them, even if those people get to a situation where they can no longer afford their home, they have equity in their home. So more than likely, they're going to be able to afford the real estate costs, get that home listed, get it sold, and go find a different living situation for them and their family. Maybe it's out of state, maybe it's back with family, whatever it is they end up having to do. Maybe it's renting with roommates or something. You know, I don't know all the situations there, but the bottom line is that people have equity for the most part and will be able to get out of their home before it becomes a distressed sale. And it's a massive amount of distressed sales that will drop home values. The next factor is just simply supply and demand. Look, I didn't even take an economics class in college, and I know that the first thing they teach you in economics is supply and demand. It's the most basic fundamental of how the economy works. And we just simply have a lot of demand for housing. We have a demand simply due to the number of people, what I call household formations. And so there's just a lot of new household formations going on, mostly because the millennials were very slow to climb themselves out of their parents' basements. I say that somewhat jokingly, but it's true. Millennials waited a long time to move out on their own. They waited a long time to get married, and they waited a long time to have kids, statistically speaking. And so now we have this generation that we thought 8 years ago was going to be the surge that got us out of, the doldrums we were in with the housing market. And the reality is they just never really showed up. I mean, they've slowly trickled in over the last 10 years, but not like anyone expected. But now we're really starting to see it pour on. And then you couple that with the fact that we have so many people that have been cooped up in their apartments, that have been cooped up in homes that they're renting, that they can't do any improvements to. And I just think on top of the household formation, kind of the physical demand, I now think there's like an emotional demand to own your own home. So with all that being said, you guys, now is the time to buy a house. I mean, rates are literally as low as they've ever been. I feel like I've been saying that for 2 decades now, because I have. But here they are, literally the lowest they've ever been. And so affordability is great. And I don't think house prices, take a big hit. They just don't. Maybe they flatten out a little bit. Maybe. I just don't even see how that happens. But hey, crazier things have happened, right? So anyways, so that's my take on the housing market. I think that if you're one of those people that either has a physical need to buy a home because of your household creation, you're getting married, you're having a kid, you're having a second kid, you're ready, we got to do it. Or if you're an emotional buyer right now who's just been pent up in your home and you're ready to go, look, you should be buying a home right now. And we can help you with that. All this to be said, mortgage rate interest rates look really, really good right now. I've seen government rates in the high 2s. I've seen conforming rates in the low 3s. Obviously, that is dependent on your down payment, on your credit score, if you pay points or not. This is not a specific rate quote, but high 2s, low 3s, that's the general range depending on your situation. And that's incredibly low, historically speaking. And I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. So you guys, that's my take on the market. I'm sorry for the long video. It's like 12 minutes, I just realized. But hey, for those of you that are interested in this kind of stuff, I'm sure you listened. For those that didn't, I'm sure you didn't. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, comments, or would like to have a brief conversation with me in person, just PM me, reach out to me in the comments, or shoot me a private message, and I'd be happy to carve out some time to talk to you about my thoughts about the market. With that, you guys, have a great afternoon, and I will speak with you soon. Bye for now.